Hello, my name is Mrs. Bricky and I'm the teacher librarian. Welcome to the Oxnard High School Library. This orientation is meant to introduce you to the library and what it has to offer. While you're watching this presentation, many of you may have a handout. Please make sure you're following along to fill in the blanks. All of the blanks on your handout will be underlined on the presentation. So all the answers, again, will be underlined in the presentation and will be fill in the blanks on your handout. The library rules. Rule number 1, be respectful. Respect is the number 1 tenet of the library. That means respect yourself, respect others, and respect the space. Be honest. No food, gum, or drinks in the library. Again, this goes back to being respectful. If everyone were to eat, chew gum, or drink in the library, it would be a mess, and we want to make sure that the library always stays clean. No electronics. This mostly goes for the class setting. When you come in individually, I allow students to text and listen to music, but talking on cell phones needs to be done outside. And while you're in the library, use your indoor voice, again, to respect others who are working in the library. At the top of your handout, take a look at the learning goals. Also, take the time to make sure you wrote your name and your teacher and period. But by the end of the library orientation, you will know the library's rules, the library procedures, and what the library has to offer. To answer numbers 1 through 3, follow along. Again, remember that all answers are underlined on the presentation. Library staff. This is me, Mrs. Bricky, the teacher librarian. I am what is called a teacher librarian, which means I teach and both run the library. I help you with your library needs, from finding books to assisting you with research. So anything revolving information, how to find things, or even writing essays, I am here to help you. Who else can help you? Mrs. Ferreira. She is the library textbook technician, and she is able to answer any question you may have about locating a book in the stacks or library procedures. The library hours. This is very important because you want to know when you can access the library and when you can get help. The library opens at 7:30 Monday through Friday. Homework Center, which is an after-school program, runs from 3:15 to 5 Tuesday through Thursday, and the library closes at 3:30 on Mondays and Fridays, the days Homework Center is not running. Again, the library opens at 7:30 only if there aren't special reasons, for example, late starter meetings, and Homework Center 3:15 to 5. Library closes at 3:30 Mondays through Fridays. When you come into the library during class, you must have a pass from your teacher. Always sign in at the front counter. It's very important that when you have a pass, if you don't have a pass, the assumption is you're ditching. So we need to have proof that your teacher gave you permission to be here. And always check in. Make sure that we know that you're here. The next questions relate to reading and how to find a book, so numbers 4 through 11. Fiction means fake or made-up stories. Fiction books are shelved on the wall that begins at the back of the class area. Fiction books are organized alphabetically according to author's last name. This is helpful to know if you want to find a fictional story, how you can find it, especially if you already know the author's last name. Nonfiction means real or factual stories. The nonfiction books are organized by their Dewey number. So on all of the books, on the spine, there's a number. These books are shelved in the stacks behind the class area. No ID, no service. This is important. All of you receive a free school ID, and this student ID serves as your library card. So you must have a student ID to check out books, no exception. What if I lose my ID? For a replacement ID, pay the ASB bookkeeper, Mrs. Murray, $10. Mrs. Murray's window is located between the ASB room and the cafeteria. Once you've paid for your ID, take your receipt to Ms. Cousins, and she will issue a replacement ID. Books are checked out for 3 weeks. After 3 weeks, you must renew or return your book. It is very important that you return your book or renew it so that we know that you're still reading and so that others have an opportunity to read the book as well. Failure to renew your book could result in a fee, and that fee is the cost of the book. The library only charges you if you don't return your book. Again, please make sure that you return your book so that others know. We do not charge late fees, but we do charge you if you never return your book. So how do I find a book? Take a look at number 10, and we're going to go through the steps of how to locate the card catalog and how to find a book. First, we're going to start at the Oxnard High School homepage. Which looks like this. I highly recommend you bookmark this page. At the very top, there is the Library tab. Select the Library tab. Then click Reading Culture. On this page, you'll notice that there is the OHS Card Catalog button. You will then need to select Oxnard High School and Card Catalog. There are 4 options for finding a book: keyword, title, author, and subject. Perhaps you're interested in reading a book by John Green. I would type Green, John, and then I have to select author. Once I do that, it will show me all of the books that we have in the library written by John Green. So notice that this first one actually isn't written by John Green. So you have to pay attention to the title and author. But here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 titles written by John Green. Let's take a look at now at technology and research for numbers 12 through 17. The library has computers available for students to use before, during, and after school. In order to use one of the library's computers, you must have an ID with a web access stamp. You earn this stamp once you've turned in your acceptable use policy form. Check in at the front counter. You want to make sure that we scan your ID, and once we do that, we will check to see if you have a clear library record. If you have a clear record, you will be assigned a computer. We do this to give priority to those students that don't owe the library anything. In order to log on to a computer, you need both the username and password. Your username is your student ID number, and your password is your birthday. Both your username and password are 6 digits long. Notice how the birthday is month, day, last 2 digits of the year. Before you print, make sure you ask either Mrs. Bricky or Mrs. Ferreira for permission because printing does cost. How much does it cost to print? Students get the first 4 pages free. Every page after that is 10 cents. Again, the first 4 pages are free, and every page after that is 10 cents. If you need to print images, images are 25 cents per page. So that means you can have 2, 4, 10 images on one page, and that will still only cost you 25 cents. Oxnard High School has many online resources, and I want to show you how to find those. Again, you start at the Oxnard High School homepage. select the Library tab, and then select the Library database page. So if you look at your handout on number 16, we start at the OHS homepage, select the Library tab, and then click the database page button. This is the OHS database page. It has all digital resources on this page. Over here to the far left, there's also a link to the card catalog, just in case you want to browse books that relate to any research that you're doing. In the center are all the ebooks, and you can also access them for the Gale Virtual Reference Library. Above are the databases. All of them have specific topics and focuses. I'm going to select student resources just as an example. All databases, including the Virtual Reference Library, require a password. That password is Yellow Jackets. All one word, all lowercase. Again, Yellow Jackets, all one word, all lowercase. This was just an overview of the library and what it has to offer. Thank you for listening, and I hope to see you soon.